Today I've traveled to Tanzania to meet Nimsdai and to kind of share my story with him. And I would like to say thank you very much to Elite Exped who have allowed for the opportunity, and also the self-belief to do something that is almost unheard of in a human first, but also learn life lessons, and which is what I have learned from Elite Exped and watching Nimsdai on 14 Peaks. It showed me what's possible and for all human beings, and presented with the opportunity. I unfortunately suffered a bad ankle injury, and for 21 months I couldn't run. How would I be able to play rugby? Why am I here? What am I going to do? There is no rugby, but I think this is where life's adventure truly begins. Hi, I'm Zukile. I'm from South Africa, and I've grew up in a rural town called Jozini on the KwaZulu-Natal province. So I'm 30 years old, and my family have had a profound impact on me, their support and love for me throughout the years. And this is why I feel like I have a big responsibility to them, to make them proud, but also responsibility to do the same for others as they have done for me. And this is my dream and my goal, is to ensure that everyone has the possibility to achieve their own dreams. One of the things I hope is that young people can find their passion, but also use sports and education as a vehicle for them to see different things, but also learn life lessons, and which is what I have learned from Elite Exped and watching Nimsdai on 14 Peaks. The big thing was that when I watched 14 Peaks was I identified someone, never met them, but someone who was like me, and I almost instantly felt like I knew them, but even though I'd never met them. I think it's very important that in life we find the right people who will help mentor us, help us in different ways to be able to see other possibilities. After I completed my university education, I had the dream of playing rugby in Japan. However, before I finished, I suffered a bad ankle injury, and for 21 months I couldn't run. And at this point, I felt quite low as I couldn't run, and I was asking myself, how would I be able to play rugby? And this is not something that has changed. I still have no rotation and no ankle movement in my right ankle, and that what's kept me going is that even if medically I was unfit to play, I would still continue and see what there was to find out, and I did go. But little known to me, in 2020, the pandemic struck, which would pose a lot of questions, which I think about why am I here? What am I going to do? There is no rugby. You are alone. So what is the point of all of this? But I think this is where life's adventure truly begins, where one really is asked questions about who they are, and probably where you find out who you are, because until you've had the questions, and that's when you come up with the answers. And this is where the beginning of the adventure for me, getting to where I am today, and it's still a continuous journey. It's not one that ends. So at this point, I found the story of Nimsdai and climbing the 14 peaks in the world. And his story really resonated with me, and what it took in terms of the planning, the positive mindset, the people he needed to have around, and I think also the self-belief to do something that is almost unheard of in a human first was really profound. And it really inspired me to take on own challenges in my life, and I think that it showed me what's possible and for all human beings, and presented with the opportunity. It really resonated with me a lot and inspired me to continue pushing, and also to truly ask myself, what is your passion, purpose, and what do you want to do in this life, because we only get one of it. And the lessons I learned from that, it transcends mountaineering, and these are lessons that we can apply to our own lives. And ultimately, I think it's the human story of what we were all capable of, given the opportunity. He wasn't given he didn't have the opportunity to go into the mountains until he went to Everest, or people would ask him, where are you from? And he would say Nepal, and then they would say about Everest, and it was, a bit of a shock for people that he'd never climbed. So I think that's what really inspired me, and I myself as well. There are things that I do now that I never thought I could do because I never had the opportunity. And I truly believe that if human beings are given the opportunities to explore their potential, given the support, planning, positive mindset, we all can achieve great things in our lives. But not only that, we can inspire each other and make the world a better place. Not knowing much about mountaineering, I decided to climb Mount Fuji, Japan, which is Japan's highest peak. I made it to the top, and when I reached the summit of the mountain, I realized a few things. That though I did it alone, I had people I met on the way to the top, and it just reinforced a few ideas that I had seen in the movie. That one, even if you start alone, there will be people on the way that will help you get to where you want to be. Second lesson was, once you reach the summit, you have to come down. You can't stay there forever. And another one that I've recently come to is that when you reach the top, you're going to have to come down, but the people you pass on the way up, right, are the people who are going to be coming up. And so, we've got to help each other on the way up, and when we are coming down, we can help those who are coming up to get to the top from our experience, and also, just to encourage each other. And when I was on top of the mountain, at the summit, I was above the clouds, and so it just reminded me that how small we are in the world. However, we can make it to the top, and we must just always remain humble and continue to help others. With this, I took a picture with the South African flag, and I was in Japan, in a new country, I think 3 years in then, and I kind of found my purpose. It was, I can be at the top, but this is no use if others aren't at the top of theirs. And I'm only one person. However, if I return to South Africa and help others to see and have the opportunities that I did, those have a more profound impact on the world and even their lives and their families' lives. And I decided to return to South Africa with the purpose of helping others see the opportunities in using education and sports to be able to use them as vehicles for their lives and learn life lessons to make a positive impact on society. So in 2023, April, I returned to South Africa. However, I was just determined to help others through sports and education and be able to see their own potential. And I plan to help people from disadvantaged backgrounds to be able to access university, but also have the support they need to be able to graduate, so they can set a new cycle for people in their communities, and they can inspire people from there. So I was thinking how I would do this, and I decided I'd use endurance challenges. So I still have the no ankle movement in my right ankle, which means I have to wear an insert which takes my foot a bit higher so I can have some ankle movement. And so in my first challenge, I decided I would run 50 kilometers, which is something I've never done before. I've never even entered a 5-kilometer race. However, with great determination, I think anything is possible, but we also have to plan for it. So I planned to do this, and I was able to do it. I surprised myself with a really good time, and I was thinking what I could do next. Just over a month ago, I took on probably the biggest challenge I've taken on, which is to run the Comrades Marathon, which is one of the oldest ultra marathons in the world. It's 86 kilometers from Durban to Pietermaritzburg, and I was able to do this. I completed it in 11 hours and 43 minutes. This really came down to, planning, resilience, and also having people support you and surrounding yourself with those people. Today I've traveled to Tanzania to meet Nimsdai and to kind of share my story with him. And I would like to say thank you very much to Elite Exped, who have allowed for the opportunity, and great opportunity. I've had to speak with Nimsdai, share lessons that we've learned from each other, and also through mountaineering, I think it really brought something profound to me. In the spirit of Ubuntu, I have founded a company called Ikigai Foundation. Ubuntu is an African proverb, means I am because you are. Ikigai means reason for being in Japanese. And through finding passion and purpose and helping others, we are and they will be. We can help young people, have opportunities, but also inspire others from their communities to do the same. I'd just like to end off by saying I think that everyone has a talent, and we'll never see it if you don't bring it out into the world. And please don't rob us of that chance to see what your talents are. Not everyone can do everything, but everyone can do something. Okay, thank you.